Hello students. Welcome to the Python Development Workshop Day 3. In the last session or on the day 2, we looked upon the list, we looked upon the tuples, we also looked upon the loops. In today's sessions, we will just go ahead with some more of the tuples, then we will proceed with the strings, dictionary, and then some user-defined function, that how you can define your own functions inside the Python. Let's get started. I'll present my screen. Okay, so we looked upon the tuples. We saw that tuples are immutable. That means you cannot edit them once the tuple is created. Edit, from here, the word edit I means that you cannot change the value of an element. You cannot delete an element, particular element. You can only thing that you can do with tuple is to delete an entire tuple. Also, I told you that tuples can store data of different data types. They can contain duplicate values as well. Then we saw how we can create a tuple using, even you can use the tuple constructor to create a tuple. Then we saw how you can access the tuples using the index, which basically Python follows the zero-based indexing. Then we saw the slicing in tuple. We saw several tuple operations, how you can concatenate, how you can repeat a tuple, how you can see a particular member is present inside a tuple or not. Also, we saw how you can find the total number of elements present inside a tuple. Then we saw some of the tuple methods. We saw how elements are packed and unpacked inside a tuple. Now we will see how you can convert a list to a tuple, or how you can convert a list into a string. Some of these codes. Let's open our Colab. Okay. Okay. See, I've told you one thing, that tuple can carry the data values of different data types. So let's see if we have a tuple t. See, suppose we have a tuple t. I already told you that if there is a tuple, the elements will be enclosed inside the round braces. Let's see, suppose we have word Python there inside it. Suppose if we have a word true, since this is a Boolean value, it will be indicated as blue. Suppose if we have a number 3, okay. Now let's print this. T. Let's print the type of T. I already told you, for in a type, from type, the type function will indicate the type of a data variable it is, what data type does T belongs to. Okay, in the meanwhile it is running, let's see some of the other things. I already told you that how you can convert a like a tuple to a list, or a list to a tuple. Now you'll see a practical application to it as well here. Okay, so it is saying that first it has printed your tuple, and next it's saying that it belongs to a class of tuple. Okay. Now let's start how you can convert your tuple, or you can convert your list into a tuple. Suppose I have a list lst which carries values 1, 2, 3. Okay, cool. Suppose now if I have a tuple, I want to create a tuple t, and I'll simply write tuple. Inside it I'll write lst. Okay. Now I'll print this t, as well as I print the type of a t. Okay. Also, I'll try to print the type of lst also, so that you get to know that initially it was list only. Okay. So it's saying that LST was initially the list, then it has converted to a tuple using the tuple constructor. Now it only belongs to a class of tuple. Okay, cool. Okay. Now we will see how you can create a tuple with a single element in it using the loops. Let's see if suppose if I have a value n is equal to 5. Okay. So here n is a simple variable and I have for I in range n. Suppose okay n. I'll just have to have the I will have a tuple, let's say t, and I'll write suppose I. No, I'll have to write t. Okay, cool. If I'll say I'll print t. Okay, print t. Let's run this. Okay. So what it has given to us, let's see. Here our value of n is 5. For the value of n is equal to 5, the range function will give, let's say, the range 5 is equal to, the range 5 will have the value 0, comma 1, comma 2, comma 3, comma 4. Okay. All these values will be there with the, so I will have all these values, and hence this t is going to create the nested tuples. First this t will be printed, then the next tuple will be inside the parent tuple. Similarly this will go on till we have I is equal to 4. Okay. So this was about how you can create a like nested tuple using the for loop. So this was the only thing that was left with the tuple. I'll just revise the things again and then we can go ahead with the string part. Tuple Tuples, and the basic difference between the list and the tuple was कि tuple is immutable whereas the list are mutable. Okay. String also contain the duplicate values. Tuples can also contain the duplicate values. List can also have the data values of multiple data types. Similarly, you can have the list also, which can create like have the different data types and different data values. Then we saw some of the different functions related to the data value related to the list and the tuple. Moreover, the some of them are same only. How you can append, how you can like add the elements in a list and all that. But in the string, but in the case of a tuple, you cannot always edit a particular element inside a tuple, or you cannot only delete one element. Whereas in the list, you can delete one element. You can append as many as number you want. Now coming on to the string. A string is a sequence of characters. It is immutable, that means you cannot modify it once the string is created. Each character in the string can be accessed by its index position, which starts from 0 to 1, 0 to 1 less of string length. That means the first character will have the index 0 and the last character will going to have the index n minus 1 or minus 1, where n is the total number of characters present inside a string. Index in string must be integer type. Float value for an index is invalid. Okay, so here it is only saying that you cannot have a index value as a floating data type. Okay, it can only have the integer values. So these are some of the functions. It is saying that ORD is a function which will return the integer value of a Unicode character. Similarly, the CHR function will return the value for integer. Suppose if you say len and you give a word inside to it or you give a string inside to it, it will return the total length of the string. Here in case of hello, we have 5. Okay. So we have different, suppose if word is saying that I am Ajay. These are some of the slicing techniques in which you can access a particular element of a string. We'll see all to this in our practical part. Okay, so as I've already told you, for in case of tuple also, in case of list also, you can simply use this double colon -1 to reverse a string, to reverse a list, or to reverse a tuple. This way you can concatenate the string. Concatenate the string means these two words will be joined without any spaces. Then these are some of the string functions. Var dot upper is particularly going to convert all your lowercase letters to the uppercase letters. Lowercase will going to convert all your uppercase to a lowercase. Capitalize is will basically do the first letter of the first string to be capital. Split will like split the your words. Okay. Then we have a strip. It removes the leading and trailing characters from the string. Count I will particularly count the number of occurrences of I. Var.find is going to find E, like whether E is there inside a string or not. If it is there, it will result in 1. If it is not there, it will result in 0. Var is alpha. Var is here our name of the string that we particularly are using here. You can keep as per your convenience. Okay. So it is written as var dot is alpha. Will return if it is alphabet is true, otherwise it will return false. Var dot is digit will return if if the string is digit or not. Var dot title makes your uppercase of every character capital. Okay. Then we have another partition is going to divide your string into 3 parts based on the delimiter, including and returns a tuple. Remember, it will always return a tuple. Then we have our find text. Then is lower will basically going to tell you whether it is in lowercase or not. Is upper is going to tell you whether it is in uppercase or not. Is title is going to tell you whether it is in title case or not. Var dot is strip. Var dot I strip is going to remove the white spaces from the beginning. Var dot R strip is going to remove the white spaces from the end of the string. Okay. And similarly, is space is going to check if there are any so spaces inside the string or not. Is alphanumeric is going to change whether it is combination of alpha or digit alphanumeric or not. Okay, so this var dot start with will check whether your string is starting with substring or not. End with will check whether it is ending with this or not. Var dot encode will return you the encoding form of string, whereas the decode will return to the decoding part. Here it is wrongly mentioned. It is going to return the decoded form of string. Then the other function is basically going to tell you, suppose if you have a max and you have a 3 string, then the string will be returned which has the highest value ordered alphabetically. Similarly, min function is going to the return value ordered alphabetically. Then to check the membership of any individual character, we personally use the in operator. So let's start with the practical application for this. Okay. Okay. Suppose if we have a string, let's say we have a string S with the name Python. Okay. Now I'll just print this. Then like I'll just print the type of S we have to get to know the data type of S. Okay, so it belongs to a class of str, that means string. Cool. Okay, so to create a string, I'll particularly say that you can even use a single quote or you can also use a double quote. Okay. I suppose if I have a string S1, We have a string s2. Okay, I'll just print both of them. Okay, I should have used the double ones here. Okay, remember, you can use to create a string, you can use the single quote as well, you can use a double quote as well, but do not try to use a combination of both. That means in the starting you have used the single quote, and by when you are ending your string you are using double quote. That is probably going to give you an error. Okay, suppose if you want to have the multi-line strings, just write here. Suppose if you want to have the multi-line strings here, you can use a triple quote. Suppose if I have a string, let's say s. Okay, I'll write I am learning Python, let's suppose. The language. Okay. So this is probably going to create a multi-line string. Okay. I'll just print this. And also print the type of s. Okay, so this is going to create a multi-line string which is also belongs to a class of string only. Now we'll see how you can access the characters inside the Python string. Okay. Okay. How you can access the character inside a Python string? As I've told you during the slide also here. Index and string must each character in the string can be accessed using the index position. So similarly, we are going to use the indexing only here to access the characters inside a string. Okay, so let's have a string s here. Say Python is my language. Cool. Okay. Suppose I have this string here, and I'll just print the string first. That I meant that is probably going to give the figure. Okay, let's print the last element. For the last, I've told you it has always at the index -1. Okay. Here we can see that the first element is P and the last element is E. Cool, we have got that. That means you can use the indexing to actually access the characters inside the string. Okay. Remember, whenever you try to access an index which is out of range, it will cause an index error. Remember, only integers are allowed at indices and no float or other fractional values are allowed. So I'll just write an comment here. Can result into an So in this way we saw how you can access the elements. Now we'll see how you can access the elements. You can start like you can do the slicing inside a string. Okay. Suppose if I take the same string, that is Python is my language. Okay. Suppose if I put a space between the Python and is, then that is also going, the space is also going to have one index. Okay. How many times you place the space bar there, that many times that index will be allotted to that particular white space. Remember. Now let's print. Yes, let's say 1 is to 4. YTH. Okay. Now print, let's print out, let's print S3. That means it is going to start from the index 0 and will end at index 2. 3 will not be included anywhere. Suppose if I write this colon after 3, then this will, what does our output comes out to be? Okay. So before 3, all the things are now printed. That means from the index 3 till the last, all our characters are printed. Totally, now let's see how we can reverse a string. Okay. Okay, so it has reversed our string. Now language is my Python. It has reverses all the characters. Now we'll see for the string immutability. We know that strings in Python are immutable. Cool. It means that they cannot be changed once they are created. If we need to manipulate strings, then we can use methods like concatenation, slicing, or formatting. Concatenation and other things we'll see later, but slicing is how you can like select a part of a string. Now this portion you can store it somewhere else also. Now you can use it later on. Okay. Suppose if we have a string. Okay. Just try to close the console. Suppose we have a string as here and we'll just write hello guys. Okay. Suppose if I write s is equals to have a string and that has a value hello guys, then what? And if we want to change the second element, that is at the index 1. Suppose if I write s is equal to w. Okay. And I'll just print this to see whether the changes are made or not. Okay. STR does not support item assignment. That means you cannot change the characters after it is created. Now you have to create a particularly new string only. Suppose I'll just have some thing like if I have a string s is equal to yellow. Okay. And I've given you a task to convert this yellow into a hello by string manipulations. That is even concatenation, formatting, or even slicing. Now what I will do, I will try to select a part of yellow now. I will have S1 here and I will just have S. This from E to O becomes a part of hello. So we'll probably say from index 1 to the index 5 we have to select. Okay, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. No, we have to select it. Okay, till 5. Cool. From 1 is to 5. And I'll just print this S1 to see whether we have selected it or not. Hello, okay. Now what I will do, I will write S1 is equal to H plus S1. And I'll just print this S1 again. Okay, so now we see how you can convert your a string into another string which has some value elements of it also using the string concatenation, slicing and formatting. Okay, now let's come how you can replace the strings. Suppose if we have a string as it says that hello world. Okay, now if you want to replace the world with guys, suppose hashtag suppose you want to suppose you want to replace the world with guys. Okay, how you'll do, we'll see this. We'll simply write, we have another call another string now, and we'll write s dot replace function. We'll use the s dot replace function. I'll write here with world with guys. Okay, and I'll just print both strings s and s1. Okay, so it has replaced our hello world with the hello guys. Here the world is now replaced with guys. Okay, now we'll see some common list functions. Suppose if you have a string s, we have Python is my language, we have a string here. Now I'll just first of all I'll print len of s. Okay, okay, so it has returned that Python is my language has 18 characters inside it. Suppose if I provide a space between them, then we should see it should probably count the spaces also. Now this in this way this will count a particular a space as will be given a one index. Okay, till the time it is assigning, we can Proceed ahead. Okay, so initially it was 81. Now you have included 3 spaces. Now those spaces are also counted as the positions. Okay. Now we'll see if we have 2 strings. Let's say if we have S1, S2 as world. Okay. And I'll just write an S3 also, which is equal to S1 plus S2. And I'll just print this S3. It's probably going to return. Okay, so Python and world are joined now. If you want to have a space between them, you probably give a space here and you'll have space between them. Suppose if I say print S3 star 3, this is going to return you the S3 string 3 times. It will be repeated 3 times. Okay, sir. Python world, Python world, Python, Python. Okay. Cool. So it has basically repeated your string. Now, if we have this, we'll go ahead with this only. We'll just write print s dot upper. S dot upper. It should completely convert all the letters to capital. Okay. I'll similarly write the print s dot lower. Okay, so it has converted all these strings to lowercase. Now, what were the all functions? So we have the slicing. You guys have already saw how you can do the slicing. Cool, let's try capitalize. Print s dot capitalize. Okay, cool. Okay, so only the first letter of the first word of the character will be capitalized and hence others will remain the same. Next we have split. We'll see how you can do that also. Print s dot split. Okay, so it has particularly split the elements and converted it to a. Okay, then we have, let's do strip, count and find function. I'll probably copy the string from here and paste it in the next cell. We have count, we have find, and we have strip. Okay, so the next function we have, the next string function we have, okay, print s dot count. Let's say we have p. Okay, it's going to give you the count of the occurrence of p. So p has only occurred 5 times, 1 time, sorry. Suppose let's print find. Since p is there in our string, okay, so this is a problem, I guess. Is alpha and is digit. Okay, let's see for the t. Okay, so that means, so it is saying that t has 2. Okay, so it is giving you the, if you write this s dot find, that means s is the string here, find is the function. If you give any letter to it, this will probably going to give you the occurrence or the index at which the following character is present. Okay, now let's see for the other functions. Then we have is alpha and is digit. So sorry. Okay, okay, so as I told you that is alpha function will tell you whether it is an alpha string, it is carrying the alpha bits or not. Similarly, the is digit will tell you whether it is a combination of string numbers or not, digits or not. Okay, so we'll write as dot as digit. Then we have title function. Okay, we'll simply write on print as dot title. So all the first characters of each word will be capitalized. Similarly, as I told you, r dot find will find the position of the letter text. Then is lower will tell you whether it is in lowercase or not. Is upper is going to tell you whether it is in uppercase or not. Is title is going to tell you whether it is in title case or not. Okay, so here it will add or start with. We'll see this one. The others are easy. You can even take a screenshot or something, or you can try them from your end also. These are very real, and they're probably going to give you the boolean value as a result only. Okay, so let's try start with and end with also function. Okay, okay. Similarly, we'll write print as dot and with. Because you have the other function ends with, okay, it's ends. Hmm. True. It is saying that yes, your string starts with letter P and even ends with letter P. In case of a letter, you can also even give a word. Like I can even write here Python. Still, it is going to give you the result true only. Okay. Okay, so let's check this maximum and minimum also. Okay, so we'll try to delete this and we have some two or three list strings now. We'll have here. Let's say we have a string s1 which has the value hello. Then we have the string s2 which has the world. S3 is equal to, we have, let's say we have Python. Okay. Now we'll try to use this maximum and minimum. Okay, maximum and minimum. We'll just keep it inside a print statement so that we get the result displayed on the screen. Okay, cool. Now let's min, and we'll have the strings s1 comma s2 s3. Probably the max function will going to return you the maximum. It will first of all arrange it alphabetically and will tell you which has the highest value, and then the main function will return the minimum value. So this was about the strings. Let's revise it quickly in a minute or so, and then we can proceed with the dictionary part also. See, as I told you, string is basically a sequence of characters. These characters can be either digits, can be either the special characters, can even be the characters, your alphabets. Also, the string is immutable, meaning once you have created the string, it cannot be modified. Also, the elements of a string can be accessed using indexing, which are from 0 to n minus 1 or to maybe to more. Then we saw several functions of the string. We saw how you can slice, how you can do indexing in a string, how you can reverse a string, how you can concatenate a string, how you can repeat a string. And then we saw some functions such as dot upper function, dot lower function, dot capitalize function, dot split function, dot count function, dot find function. Remember, the count will give you the occurrence of the particular letter or a character, whereas the find function is going to return you the index value. If it is not present, it is not going to give you the result. Is alpha is digit will give you the probably the boolean value of whether it is considered, whether it is a combination of alphabets or not. Also, is digit is going to give you the if it is a combination of digit or not. Since I told you here, is alpha or is digit not, because it has spaces. If I remove the spaces, it is alpha result will be going to true. So is alpha is true and is digit is false because there is no digit inside a string. Then we saw the title function. Then we saw the is lower, is upper, is title, is strip. These are basically going to give you the boolean results. Then we saw how you can see that whether a particular string is starting with a particular character or a word or not, whether it is ending with a particular character or a word or not. Then we saw how you can find a maximum minimum of a combination of strings. Now the last thing that is left is how to you can check the membership of particular element. Suppose if I have a string here, okay, print. Suppose it has a 5. Yes, okay. True, it's saying that it exists. Suppose if I write com false, this is not present inside the list. So in this way, you can also check the membership inside the string. This was about the string. Let's now go to the dictionary. So a dictionary is an unordered collection of key value pairs. Key value pair means there is a key and there is a value. For each key we have a value and for each value we have a key. It is mutable, that means you can edit the elements once the dictionary is created. Remember, in a key and a value pair, your key should always be unique and of immutable type. That means your key cannot be changed and should always be unique. For a particular dictionary, the value of key should not be repeated for any set of value. Also, value can be of any type. Dictionaries are defined using the curly braces. That means that the key value pairs are enclosed inside the curly braces. Then we'll see how you can access the dictionary elements. Basically, in case of the strings, in case of the tuples, in case of the list, you access the element using the indexes. But in case of dictionary, you're basically going to access the value using the key. That is why I told you that the key should have a unique value. Also, you can use a dot get function with the key as an argument to avoid errors if key is not found. You can iterate using the key value pair using the loops. Now we will see how you can have the like what are the different dictionary methods in dictionary. Okay, so dictionary.keys will return you all the keys. Dictionary.values function is going to return you all the values. Dictionary.items will return you the key value pairs. Dictionary.update will going to update the extension dictionary. That means new only, as I told you, key is immutable, you can never change the key. So what is left to change is value. So for a particular key, this is the way how you can convert like change the value of value, how you can change the value for a particular key. If you write dictionary.pop function, this is particularly going to remove that key value pair. Remember, if you remove the key, both the key and the value pair will be removed. Also, you can check the existence that particular key is present inside a dictionary or not using the in operator. This is then we can merge two dictionaries using update or double star. Then we'll see how you can have the nested dictionaries and default values. That means dictionaries can contain other dictionaries as well. And now we'll see the practical application of the dictionaries. Okay. So we have a Python dictionary is a data structure that stores the value in key value format, whereas the value in a dictionary can be of any data type and can be duplicated even, whereas the key can't be repeated and must be immutable. So let's create a dictionary first. Suppose if you have a dictionary G, as I told you, it is always enclosed inside a curly braces. So we'll just have this. If I'll say I'll have Python. So one is the key here, remember. And two we have world. Then at 3 we have Jessica Brown. Okay. Now I'll just print this. Okay. It has printed our dictionary. Now we'll see the print the type of D we have. Okay, so it belongs to the class of dictionary. So you can have the key even a character or something. Let's say we have dictionary D. Suppose we have a dictionary D and we have a, a key as A. Let's say. Okay, and we'll just have the value same only. We have Python. We have world, and then we have C, and then we will have learn. Let's say. Okay, good. So this was our dictionary, and now let's print it to see whether the key value takes as a character as a key or not. Okay, so probably you have to give us equal to sign. Yeah, cool, cool, I got it. Got that. Okay. Okay. Because there's some issue with this. Okay, so leave it. We'll try to use the dictionary constructor here. Okay. Also, as I've told you, like the constructor in case of tuple, in case of string, we also have a dictionary constructor here. Let's try that. Suppose if we have a dictionary D, we have a constructor with the name D density. Suppose we have A is equal to alpha. B we have world. C is equal to we have learn. Okay, let's print this. Okay, so that our error is solved, and now to you can create the dictionary even using the dictionary tuple. Sorry, dictionary constructor. Okay. Now we'll see how we can access a value from a dictionary by using the key within square braces or use the get method. Okay. Now we have. Okay, we'll just write a comment here. Accessing the value from a dictionary. Okay, so how you can access the value from a dictionary using the key within square brackets, or get method. Okay, we'll just have this. We'll just have a few examples over it also. Suppose if you have a D, I'll try to take some other example. Let's say we have a name. Suppose if I have a name Alice. Okay, cool. Then suppose if I have the other key as one, it has the value Python. Then suppose I have this 1 comma 2, which is basically a tuple. Okay, sorry, 1 comma 2. Okay, and now I have this. Okay, suppose if you have a list dictionary here, the name is a key which has the value Alice. 1 is a key which has the value Python. 1 comma 2 is a tuple, is also a key for our list, which is 1, 2, and 4. Cool. Let's now print the value for a key. Let's see if we want to print D name. Okay, so this was how you can like access a value from a dictionary using the key within square braces. Now we will see the get method also. Okay, so you have to use the get function. You just simply write d dot get. For both of them, it should print Alice. So also to access a value from a dictionary, you can use the get function also. You can use the key also. So now let's see how you can update an existing value. Okay. Suppose we want to change the first. We want to change the value of a key value pair which has the key 1, and we wanted to update it to something else. Suppose so we'll just simply write here. You cannot give the indexes, you probably have to give the key value for us. Suppose it is written 1, so 1 we have a value here or not, this 1. So 1 we have a key here, for this key we have a value Python. Suppose we want to change it to, let's say, let's learn. Okay, now I'll just print this also to see whether the changes have been made or not. Print D. So this will do what? It will going to change the value for the value of the value of a key which has the 1. Okay, so 1 key has the value now. Initially it was Python. Now it has changed to let's learn. Okay. Now we'll see how you can remove the dictionary items. Now we'll see how you can removing the elements, removing the items from a dictionary. So we can remove the items from a dictionary using the following methods. You can use the del keyword, you can use the pop function. Also, you can use the clear function and pop item function to particularly drop an item. Okay, so we'll see each of these steps one by one. One was our del. Second, we have pop function. Then third, we have clear. And fourth, we have pop item. Okay. So for each of these, I'll tell you the things. Okay. So del will remove an item by the key. Okay. Pop function will remove an item by key and return its value also. Clear will empty the whole dictionary. Mean the whole of the dictionary will be empty. No key value pair will be found. Pop item will remove and return the last key value pair. Like that means it will remove the last key value and removes the and returns the last key value pair. Okay. Now let's try each of them one by one. Okay. Suppose if we have a dictionary D. Okay. And I'll just have some other things as well. Suppose I have the keys as one. Python. Okay. Then I have the other thing. I have the other key as 2 and I'll write world. Then I have the other three key as 3 and I'll write here. Suppose learn. Then I have the fourth key and I'll write hello. And then I have the other key. Okay, it's stuck. Sorry. Okay, so I have the fifth key and I'll just have the value. Let's say learn. Okay, learn is done. Okay. Teach. Okay, I'll just have this one. So our dictionary is ready. Now we will use all these four methods to remove an element. Okay, that's the first one. We'll simply write the del keyword. We have the dictionary D, and we'll just have to place the key value. Suppose if I say 5, just print this D. So our key value pair, which has the key value as 5, is now removed. Now similarly, we'll just do the others as well. Okay. So now we'll use the pop keyword, pop function. Sorry. Suppose if I store my pop value here, and I say d dot pop 1. Okay. And print, let's say where our popped value. Okay. So it's saying that for the key 1, it has popped the value Python from the dictionary. Now we will see the pop item. Okay. So I'll just simply write key val is equal to d dot pop item. Okay. Okay, I'll just print this d again to see the results that have been made. Okay. Okay, so the very last key value pair is now dropped. Cool. Now we'll see how you can clear a particular dictionary. Should. Okay, so I'll just simply have to, if you want to empty the whole dictionary, you just have to write d dot clear. And I'll just print this. Okay, so it's now all the elements inside a dictionary are now removed. Okay, cool. Now we'll see some other things now. So these are the things how you can delete a particular item from it, how you can delete the very last key value pair, how you can delete a particular key value pair, how you can like clearly empty the whole of the dictionary. Now we'll see how you can iterate through a dictionary. Okay. Before that, let's see for the key value pair. We'll just simply write. If I say print d dot values. Okay, let me have the dictionary again here. Print d dot keys. Okay. Okay, so dictionary values are Python, world, learn, hello, and teach, whereas the dictionary keys are 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. It has printed. Cool. Now let's see how you can iterate over these values. Okay, let's see for we'll write for key in D. Key in D means for every key that is there inside a D. Okay, print the key. It is probably going to print the key. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 are keys. Similarly, we will see how you can iterate over the values. Okay. So we'll write simply for value here. D key and value are not any keyword. They are just the iterable variable. You can use any iterable variable as per your choice. So d dot value that all it only will give you all the values. Okay, I will simply write print value. This will result in all the values. So Python, world, learn, hello, and teach are the values of a key. Okay, now we'll see how to check whether a particular key is there inside a dictionary or not. Okay, let's see. Suppose I'll just paste this. Okay. Suppose if I have key is equal to, let's say 2. Okay. Let's see print key in D. It will either result in one or like either true or false. Okay, so okay, 2 is 2. The key 2 is present. Let's write 6. Since there is no key which has the value 6, so probably it will return false. Okay, so it has returned false. Similarly, we can now see how we can find the length of your dictionary using the len function. Okay. Suppose if you have this list dictionary only, and I'll print here len d. Okay. So this should return me the length of the string, that is meaning the total key value pairs that are there. So total 5 key value pairs are present inside the dictionary D. Now we'll just have another. Okay, so let's just see how you can find like suppose there is a dictionary which has the key value pairs and all the values are numeric, and you find this and you want to find the sum of all those elements. Okay, all those numbers that are particularly there. Suppose if I write control plus V and I'll just change the value here, just give it 100. I'll just give it a 200. Okay, similarly 400 and 500, and we just have to find the summation of all of this. Suppose 100, 200, 300, 400, 500. Okay, so I'll just simply write print and I'll use the return sum function. Return sum function, I'll just give the dictionary D as my argument. Okay, so it's, I don't know what's the problem, but this function is defined. You can use this function to access the sum of the all value key and value pairs. So this was about the dictionary. Okay guys, so I'll just have a quick revision to it and then we can move ahead, and we'll probably study the sets after this. Okay, so dictionary, as I told you, dictionary is an unordered collection of key value pairs. The value can be duplicated, but the key has to be immutable and should be unique. Values can be of any data type, whereas the dictionaries are defined using the curly braces only. Also, you can access the dictionary elements using the key and also get function. Iterating over the like you can iterate over the key and value pair using the loops. Then we have how some several functions. Dot keys function will probably going to return you all the keys. Dot values function will return you all values. Dot items will probably going to return you all the key value pairs that are present inside the dictionary. Dot update is going to update your key to a new value. Remember, key is immutable. You cannot change the value of a key. Dictionary.pop key will basically removes the key value pair. Now we have the dictionary operations. You can see the membership of a particular key value pair key inside a dictionary. Then you can have the dictionary inside a dictionary. Okay, let's revise here once again. So here we have created the dictionary D. Then we print the type of a D. Then we try to access the value from the dictionary key or from the get function. Then we try to update an existing value. Then we saw how you can remove the items from a dictionary, either using the del keyword, using the pop function, clear function, and pop item function. Del will particularly require your key value to be removed. Similarly, the pop function is going to delete the element which has the following key value. Pop item is going to delete the very last key value pair, and clear will going to automatically clear all your dictionary key value pairs. Dot d dot values is going to return you all the values. D dot key is going to return you all the keys. Whereas whereas you can iterate over the keys, you can also iterate over the values in a dictionary. Then you can see whether a particular key is present inside a dictionary or not. Then we saw how you can find the total key value pairs inside a dictionary. Now we will start with the set. Okay, sets in the Python, basically it is an unordered collection of unique elements. Okay, that means you cannot have the duplicate values inside a set. Okay, you cannot have a duplicate values inside a set means the values can never be repeated, meaning if you have a particular value you cannot change it again. You probably going to have that value only once in a set. It is defined using the curly braces or the set function. Set function, or basically you can call it as a set constructor even. Then it supports mathematical operations like the unique, union, intersection, and difference. Also, they are not indexed. How you can create a set either using a curly braces, or you can even use the set constructor. If you use just a set constructor or a curly braces which has no values, it is going to create an empty set. Then we'll see how you can access the set elements. Okay, you can access, since sets are unordered, so element cannot be like accessed using the index as we were doing it in the loops, in the list, tuples, and everything. You can iterate using a for loop. Here in this example, we have a set, my set, which has the value 10, 20, and 30. They have no indexes, so particularly what we'll write for any item. Here item is an iterable variable. In my set is the name of the set. We'll probably going to iterate it till we reach the last of the element, and every element will be printed. Then we'll see how you can, then there's an adding and removing of elements. You can use add function to insert a new element, or you can use the update. Since if you use the add, you can only add a single element, but if you use the update function, you can add the multiple elements. You can use the remove or the discard function to remove an element from a list, from a set, sorry. Then you can use the pop function also. Clear function will basically empty the set. Then set operations, I've already told you that it provides union, intersection, difference operations. Union will particularly combine all the elements that are present inside the two set. Intersection will result you in the common elements that are present inside the two sets. Difference probably is going to return you the uh, suppose if it is written here set 1 minus set 2, that means from the set 1 the elements of set 2 will be removed and the data that is left will be displayed. Symmetric difference, that means a set 1 will have the symmetric difference with the set 2. Then we have the set 2 set methods. Is subset set 2, that means if it will check if set 1 is a subset of set 2 or not. Is upper superset, that means check if set 1 is a superset of set 2 or not. Disjoint, that means it will see that set 1 and set 2 are mutually exclusive or not. That means set 1 and set 2 both have the do not have any common elements. Then we have the copy, which will shallow copy the set. So we have a different type of set, that is basically frozen sets. These frozen sets, what do they do? They are immutable version of set, means you cannot modify the sets. Since I've told you here that sets are mutable, you can change the elements, you can update the elements, you can like remove the elements. But in case of frozen sets, this is a different class of sets where you cannot modify the elements. It is such type of sets are created using the frozen set function, and as said cannot be modified after the creations. Whatever changes you want to make, please make it before it is created. Once it is created, no manipulations can be made. So it supports sets operation but not add or remove. Like you have the union, you can have the intersection, you can have the difference, but you cannot have the add or the remove function. Then we have an example. Suppose if we have frozen set name x set, and we will use the frozen set constructor, and we particularly create this 1 2 3 4 set is now frozen set. You cannot change anything inside it. What are the applications of sets? It removes the duplicate values from a list. As I told you in the day one, that how you can remove the duplicate values from a set. To remove a duplicate values from a list, you particularly have to use the set constructor, because the set constructor is the only function that can provide you a list which is free from the duplicate values. Now, it can also be used to perform the mathematical set operations such as union, intersection, difference, symmetric difference. Set also provides you the to check the membership efficiently. That particular element is present inside a set or not. It also represents the relationship between elements. So, okay, let's now go to the practical section. Okay, so a set in a Python programming language A set in a Python programming language is an unordered collection data type that is iterable and has no duplicate elements. While sets are mutable, meaning you can add or remove elements after they are created. The individual element within the set must be immutable and cannot be changed directly. Okay, so let's create a set first. Suppose if I have a set name var. Okay, Python learn and world. Okay, suppose we have this set. Okay, I'll just print this var. So this will probably print the your set. Now let's see the type of data of type that it belongs to. Print type var. Okay, so this will the var set is belong to the class of set. Okay. And a very important thing that I need to comment is sets in Python is used for typecasting. Okay. Now let's see how. So if I have a set, let's say my set, I'll just simply have a set constructor here and just of values. Let's say A, B, C, and G. Okay, and just print this my set. So this ABC was a list. Now it has been converted into a set using the set constructor. In this way, sets in use are basically used for typecasting. Okay. Okay. So let's just do one thing. Just copy this set from here. Okay. And I'll just write my set. One is equal to, let's say, H. Okay. And we'll just print this my set. Okay, so set object does not support item assignment. So what I was about to say to you is that I told you that set is mutable. Okay, sets are mutable, but from mutable here means that you can only add or remove an element. You cannot modify the existing element. We were trying to modify the existing element here. That is why it has given error. It shows that set object does not support item assignment. That means you cannot like modify or manipulate the existing element. You can only add a new element or you can remove the existing element. Now let's see the heterogeneous nature of this Python set. So Python sets can store heterogeneous elements in it. That is, a set can store a mix of string, integer, boolean values, etc. data types. Let's see it through an example. Let's see it through an example. Suppose you have a set. Okay. I'll just have value A. You can also have the value 1. You can also have the value as 3.14. You can also have the value as 2, boolean value. And I'll just print this. Okay. So this will basically that set supports different types of data types inside a single set. Here A is our character, 1 is our integer, 3114 is a float value, whereas 2 is a boolean value. And we just try to find out that it belongs to it's we'll try to print the type of my set and it states that it still belongs to a class of set. Okay. Now we'll see some of the methods for the sets. Now we'll see how you can add an element inside a set. Let's say if you have a set, just copy this one here. Okay, so we have this set here. Suppose you want to add the element. I'll simply write var dot add, and here I will write suppose teach. Again, I'll just print this set again to see whether just the changes are reflected or not. Okay, so the teach is now inserted. Okay. Suppose if I create an empty set, let's say S. Okay. Now what I do, I use a for loop to insert the value. Suppose that for I in range 1 to 6. Okay. This range function will have the values 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 6 will not be included. Okay. And I'll just write s dot add I. Oh, sorry. Okay, so I'll just print this set again to see whether the changes are made or not, the elements are added or not. Print test. Okay. So okay, the set has the value 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And this is how you can add the element using the for loop. Okay. Now we'll see the operations on the Python sets. Okay. First, we'll see the union operator. First, we'll see the union operation. Suppose we have set, let's say people. Okay. Just have the few things. If I have this as J, Idrish, and let's say Archel. Okay. Then I have the other as, let's say we have another set which has the name vampires, and I'll just have this as Joy and Harry. Okay. Then I have the other set, let's say Dracula. This is probably a very supposing example. I've just taken it from the internet. You can have the other set also to demonstrate the operations in sets. Then we have Charlie. Then we have Sam. Okay. We have these three sets now, and we're just going to have the union operation over them. So I'll just write, I have a new set defined that as our population This is going to be the union of the people and the vampires. Okay, so I'll just simply write it: people dot union vampires. Okay, and I'll just try to print this population now. Okay, so in this way, what happens? The vampires and the people both are now union. They have got a union of all the elements are now combined. Now we'll see the intersection. Since I've already told you they don't have any common elements, to demonstrate the intersection operation better, I'll just have two sets more. Set 1 is equal to set. I'll just define the two empty sets here. Set 2 is equal to set. And now here I will see for in range 5. Here range 5 will do what, guys? And the range 5 will have the values. That means I will have the values from 0 to 4 and 5 will not be included here. And I'll just have the set1 dot add function to add the value of I into the set every time the loop is run. Okay. Similarly, I'll go for the set 2 also. For J in range. That's it, from 3 to 9. From 3 to 9 means from 3 to 8. The values of I will have the 3 to 8. Set 2 dot add. J. Okay. I'll just print these sets to see whether it's like the elements are added or not. Try to print the output as much as you can, especially in the starting of the starting when you're like started to learn any programming language. This will make you a better clarity over the operations that you're performing are right or wrong, and will also try to tell you that whether the things are being updated or not, which command and which command you are properly getting the error. So okay, you have got two sets. Now we'll try to have the intersection over them. I'll just simply have the set 3 and I'll write set 1 dot intersection set 2. Print set 3. So 3 and 4 are the only common elements present. Clear? Since you can also write set2 dot intersection set1, this will not going to have any basic difference in the union and intersection operator, because in union all the elements will going to be combined. Similarly, in the intersection function operation, you're going to have the only common values that are present inside too. So the order does not matter much here. But in case of a difference operator, the or like the order of these sets obviously matters there. Okay, so in other ways you can also use the let's suppose set 4 is equal to, like I'll tell you the command also or the operator symbol also for using the intersection operator. I'll just have the set 1 and I'll write the AND here. Okay, this set 2, this set 3 and set basically they're going to give you the same answer. Either you can use the intersection function or you can use the AND operator also. Okay, so now we'll find the difference of sets in Python. How you can have the difference, and I will see the difference operator. Suppose if I have the same thing, okay, just have the same set here. Okay, and if I write set 3 is equal to set 1 dot difference, and I'll write set 2. Okay, and I'll just try to print this set 3. Okay, so this is our set 1, this is our set 2, and this is our set 1 minus set 2. Similarly, if I do set 4 is equal to set 2 minus set 1, that means set 2 dot difference set 2. Okay, so we have this set 2. And I'll just print the set 4. Okay, set 2 minus set 1. Okay, so this will give the correct answer now. Okay, so the first one is our set 1, the second one is our set 2, the third one is our set 1 minus set 2, and the fourth one is our set 2 minus set 1. As I have already told you that the order does not matter much in case of union and intersection operator, but in case of the difference operator, the order matters. That is why the set 1 minus set 2 will have the values that are left after removing these elements of set 2 from set 1. Set 2 minus set 1 probably going to have the values which are removed up from the set 2 of the SL of the set 1. Okay. Similarly, here you can also use, like if I say, you can also use the minus operator or the subtraction operator. Okay. If you don't want to use this difference, you can also use the minus operator there. Okay. And this is also going to return you the same thing only, don't worry. Okay. So this you can also use the minus operator, or you can also use the plus operator. Sorry, a dot difference function. Okay. Now we'll see how you can clear a complete Python set. Suppose if I have a set S which has the value, sorry, 1, comma 2, comma 3, comma 4, comma 5. Okay. I'll just print this S first of all. Now I'll write S dot clear. Okay. And I'll now print the S. Since it is going to give you an error with this print statement, but I'll tell you, since to show that the set is removed, and this is probably going to give you the error. Okay, so there is no set left. So this was about the sets. So this was basically about the sets that we have discussed. Now let's have a quick review over the sets. Okay, as I told you, set is an unordered collection of unique elements. Unordered collection of unique elements means that it is not going to have the duplicate values. It is basically defined using the curly braces. It supports mathematical operations like the union, intersections, and difference. They are unordered, and indexes mean there are no indexes for the sets. Then we have how you can create a set. You can create a set by using the curly braces. Also, you can create a set using the set constructor. You can also have an empty set using the set constructor. Then we can access the set elements using the for loop. Then we saw how you can add or remove the element. Also, as I've told you, since sets are mutable, but that does not mean you can like change the existing element. You can only add a new element or you can remove the existing element. Then we saw the union operation. In union operation, we saw that if there are two sets, set 1 and set 2, then we can probably going to have the value of a set that will have both that will have the values of both the sets, set 1 and set 2. In intersection operator, we know that we are only going to get the common values of the two sets. Then in the difference, we saw that if there is written if there are two sets, set 1 and set 2, and it is written set 1 minus set 2, then set 1 minus set 2 is going to have the values of set 1 after removing the elements of set 2. Similarly, for set 2 minus set 1, we are going to have the values of set 2 after removing the elements of set 1 from after removing the values of set 1 from set 2. Then we saw some set method that either S set 1 is a subset of set 2 or not, is set 1 is a super subset of set 2 or not. Then we saw whether set 1 and set 2 are mutually exclusive, that means they have no common elements also. And we saw a copy function in which we basically saw that how you can create a shallow copy of a set. Then we saw how you can make the sets immutable using, there's a different class of set that is frozen sets. It is created using the frozen set function, and once it is created you cannot modify the sets. That means you cannot either add an element, delete an element, or or you can change the existing element. It also supports various sets operations like union, intersection, difference, and other, but they do not support add or remove function. Then we have the applications of sets. Sets are particularly used for typecasting. Sets are particularly used to change the to like remove the duplicate values. They're also used to perform some of the mathematical set operations such as union, intersection, difference, and other things. They basically checks for the membership that a particular element is present inside a set or not. It presents a relationship between the different elements. What we did in the practical session, we'll just have a look and then we'll move ahead. Okay, so we started here, we defined the var as a set here, where we have the three values Python, learn, and world. We tried to find the type of it and we saw that it belongs to a class of set. Then we saw how you can convert a list to a set to remove the duplicate values. And then we tried to see can we change any element of a, like we have some element there, can we change it? We saw we cannot change the existing element, you can only add an element or remove an element. Then we saw that set can contain multiple values of multiple data types. Then we saw how you can add an element inside a set using the add function. Then we saw how you can add an element inside a inside an empty set using the for loop. Then we saw how you can do the union operation. Then we saw how you can have the intersection operation, difference operators. Then we saw how you can completely clear and set. Now we are about to left with 10 minutes. I don't want to start the functions right now, but I can give you a brief explanation of the functions. That is basically what is a function. As I told you, there are two types of functions. On the day when I told you that there are two types of functions: user defined functions and the inbuilt functions. So inbuilt functions are the functions that already have their code written and you're using them several times inside your code. There are user defined functions also, that means that a user define it or user write its piece of code as per their usability and requirement. So as a function is a reusable block of code that performs a specific task. It helps in code reusability and modular programming. Remember, you can use that piece of code again and again, and it is basically for better programming capability. It is defined using the def keyword. Basically, to define any user defined function, you have to use the def keyword. Then it can have the parameters, it cannot have the parameters, and can have the return values or not. It helps in code duplication, meaning you do not have to write that piece of particular code several times. You can use it directly if you define it inside a function. Let's see a basic syntax of how you can define a function. We will use the def keyword first, and then we will have the function name here. Then we have the parameters enclosed inside the round braces. Then we will have the several statements, whatever task we want to perform, and then we will have the return value. From the return value, I mean to say that whatever type of the answer or the output is will be like thrown out from the function to a main body. Example, this is a very small and a very easy example where here def is a keyword, greet is a name of our function which has the name as an argument, and you're going to return hello plus name. This is a string, and this plus will concatenate your name with the hello. Hence, whenever you will call this function, whatever will be passed as an argument here will be displayed here and will be printed hello name. Now we'll see how you can call a function. To call a function must be executed. Before executing, you cannot call a function. Then we basically call a function followed by the parenthesis. Suppose in case you take the greet function, then we will particularly call this function greet with the braces and argument that we have to pass. Suppose if we have the name as Alice here, we'll pass the Alice here, and we'll print this result to see our output. You can also have this print statement in the function itself, but you can even have it outside also. Then we saw what are then we will see what are function parameters and arguments. These function parameters and arguments can be of different types. It can be positional arguments, it can be keywords argument, default arguments, variable length arguments. We will see each of them in very detail in the coming class. Then we saw then there is a return statement. The return statement sends back a value from a function to a place where it is called. Okay. So here we saw that how you can what does the return statement do. The return statement sends back a value to a pointer where it was originally called. Also remember, like a single function can have the multiple return values. Suppose if you have example here of a def square function which has the num as the argument here, and if we return num star num, that means it is particularly going to return the square of a num which is going to pass when it is called. So also we learned about the lambda functions. Lambda functions are short one-line function that have no name, and it uses the lambda keyword. In case of, like, we were using the def keyword now, so in case of lambda functions, we use the lambda keyword. That typically used for short operations that only have one variable probably. Suppose if you have a function square, and here we saw we can create this square function using the def keyword also. Now we'll see how you can create it using a lambda function. Then suppose if you have a square, okay, square function, then this lambda word is a keyword here. X is probably a variable or an argument for this lambda. We saw x raised to the power 2. This is our operation, and this will be the return value for this function. And this print statement is probably going to return the square of 5. So this was about the functions. We'll see recursion and everything in very detail in the next session. Also, let's have a quick overview of what we have learned today. Okay, so we saw some of the other things of over tuple, that how you can create a nested tuple, how you can see whether Or you can see whether tuple contains an heterogeneous mixture of data types or not. Then we have a look over to this string. Here we saw how you can like create a multi-line string, single line string, how you can do slicing in a string. Then we saw how you can like see whether that strings are immutable, you cannot change anything once they are created. Then you obviously you can do formatting, slicing, and concatenation to perform the some of the tasks of manipulations. Then we saw how you can replace a particular word of a string to a particular word. Then we saw some of the basic functions of the string such as dot upper, dot lower, dot capitalize, dot split. Then we saw how you can concatenate two strings, how you can repeat a particular string. Then we saw how you can see the count of a particular character or a word inside a string, how you can find whether a particular element is present inside a string or not using the find function. Then we saw is alpha and is digit function, which are basically going to do one thing, that is, if it is a combination of only string, then it is going to return true for is alpha, otherwise it will going to return false. Similarly, we got for the is digit also. Then we saw the title function, which basically capitalize the first letter of each word. Then we saw the start with function and end with function. This start with function will see that whether your string is starting with a particular character or a word or not. Then we saw the dot end with function is where that particular string is going to be end with that character or a word or not. Then we saw the maximum and minimum function, where if we pass two or three or even more strings inside it, then it is going to possibly return the uh, if there are three strings, suppose s1, s1, s2, and s3, then it is going to probably like arrange them in alphabetical order and will return the highest most value. Similarly, in case of min, we it will arrange the strings in alphabetical order, and then it will return the most minimum value. Similarly, we saw the membership using the in operator in a string. Then we came back to the dictionaries, where we found that key and the value pairs are there inside a dictionary. The key is immutable and should have a unique value, whereas the value can be mutable and can be changed later on also. Then we saw how you can access the key, how you can access the value from a key and a get function. Then we saw different ways of how to remove an elements from the items from a dictionary using del keyword, pop function, clear function, and pop item function. Then we saw the dot values function and dot keys function, where d dot values is basically going to return all the values of a dictionary. D dot key values will going to return all the keys of a dictionary. Then we saw how you can find the length of a dictionary using the len keyword. Then we came to the sets. In case of sets, we try to find how you can use the set for typecasting. Then we saw how you can like sets are mutable, but you cannot change a existing element. You can either remove it or you can add a new element only. Then we saw how set supports the multiple data entries with different data types. Then we saw how you can add an element inside a set. Then we saw the union operations, intersection operation, difference operator inside a set. And then we saw how you can like clearly delete the complete set. So this was all about today. I hope you guys got to know about whatever is there. Now this is actually the third session. In tomorrow's session, we'll try to cover up the classes and objects, file handling, exceptional handling, recursion, and functions in more detail. Thank you guys so much and have a good day ahead.